got him. O.J. Simpson swings a golf club at an Inside Edition cameraman. The year was 1997, 2 years after Simpson's acquittal in the murders of his wife Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman. In 1999, Simpson pulled up stakes, left Los Angeles, and moved to Florida. But he could not stay out of the spotlight. He had a new girlfriend, a Nicole lookalike named Christy Prody.
She is loaded out of her mind in her Mustang driving around town somewhere.
They had a tempestuous relationship. In one call to 911, Simpson accused Christy of hitting him, but he quickly withdrew the complaint and no charges were filed.
Were you beat up?
Nah, look at me, do I look beat up?
It seemed as if he could not stay out of trouble. In 2001, he was arrested for road rage.
He looks forward to fighting these charges, proving his innocence.
As he stood next to his lawyer, Simpson made funny faces. He looked as if he didn't have a care in the world, even as he once again stood trial.
The defendant is not guilty.
A jury acquitted him of all charges, but Simpson's luck finally ran out at a casino in Las Vegas. He was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping while trying to take sports memorabilia from a dealer. Christy Prody stood by him.
He does not need to burglarize or rob or kidnap anybody.
Simpson pleaded with the judge to go easy.
I am sorry. I didn't mean to steal anything from anybody, and I didn't know I was doing anything illegal. I thought I was confronting friends.
So far, Simpson has served 9 years in jail. His chances of getting paroled at the hearing this week are considered good. If he's released, the question is, will he at last fade from public view and live a quiet life? Only time will tell.
I got him. I got him.
It's disturbing video of the pent-up fury lurking within O.J. Simpson. Snarling Simpson attacking an Inside Edition cameraman on a golf course in L.A. in 1997. After his acquittal, Simpson lost no time getting back to a lifestyle of ease and luxury. In this rarely seen video, we see inside his mansion where he shot pool.
Getting behind the 8 ball, where I've been in my life.
He actually became Mr. Mom to his 2 kids, Sydney, then 12, and Justin, 9. He even drove them to their private schools. Listen to what he says about looking after them.
My admiration for single parents have gone through the roof.
Remember, he's a single parent because of the murder of his wife, Nicole. Simpson seemed to have lost little of his charm and charisma after the trial.
Cool. Thanks, Joji.
Crowds of tourists clamored to meet him outside his mansion in Brentwood.
I would have combed my hair, I didn't know it.
And when he was having a quiet meal in a restaurant, fans would greet him like a hero. But he was no longer welcome at exclusive LA golf clubs because of the widespread belief that he was guilty of murder. So he had to settle for public courses and a new set of friends.
I never smoked before, but I figured, hey, look what non-smoking got me. Might as well smoke.
But the other OJ, quick-tempered, violent, was never far from the surface.
I got him.
Turn the damn car around! Oh, man, why you gotta do that?
It's the other O.J. Simpson movie. This Simpson movie ran on Fox way back in 1995, just as the trial of the century was getting underway.
Growing up, I always was told, you look like O.J. Simpson.
Bobby Hosea played Simpson in the O.J. Simpson story. He actually looks a lot like Simpson, much more so than Cuba Gooding Jr. And look who else was in the movie, a young Terrence Howard, now of Empire fame.
You get everything, I get nothing.
He played Al Cowling, Simpson's best friend.
I can't live with you anymore, OJ.
The movie may be long forgotten, but back then it was a big hit.
That was like one of the highest rated Fox movies of the week ever.
There are a lot of scenes that are almost identical to The People versus O.J. Simpson. Watch how the Bronco chase was portrayed in the old movie.
This is AC. AC Collins, you idiot, you know who I am. They got OJ in the car with me.
Here's the same scene in the new FX series.
Hey, this is AC. I have OJ in the car.
The 1995 movie portrays Simpson's violent temper. Some scenes are hard to watch, but are based on actual incidents, including Simpson smashing his wife Nicole's Ferrari.
Stop it! OJ!
And 20 years later, this scene is still difficult for Bobby Hosea to watch.
It upsets you now, doesn't it, watching that? Why are you turning away?
Because it's real. It really happened.
4 years before the murders, Hosea says he actually worked with O.J. Simpson and experienced his volatile personality firsthand.
Come on, guys.
It was on the set of the HBO sitcom First and 10.
Hey, Juice, I'm working with you, man. I'm working with you today, right? He looks at me up and down, and then he turns. He never says another word to me.
Little could he have known that just a few years later, he'd be playing O.J. Simpson himself.
You know that my favorite kind of material is always of the controversial nature. Ain't nothing changed. Here we go. Ain't no need of looking around, getting mad at what I'm about to say. These are my opinions. Therefore, it makes them the right ones. You got a different opinion, keep it to yourself. Ain't nobody in here paid to hear what you think. That's what I'm here for. We might as well get it out the way. It's in the news every day. O.J. Simpson. Now, you can have your opinion of whether you think he did it or not. Most people have formed one already. You may not agree with what I'm about to say, but damn it, I think he did it. I think O.J. killed everybody in that goddamn driveway. Tried to kill that dog, too. Dog had blood on his ass. He was just too quick for O.J.'s ass. So I'll tell you a couple things make me think he did it. First of all, like my daddy always say, stick to what you do. You a football player? Hell, play football. If you don't know how to commit murder, damn it, don't do it. Stay your ass at the house. What you out there trying killing people for if you ain't good at it? Plus his old ignorant ass and got evidence popping up everywhere. Somebody say they found a Heisman Trophy in the bushes. Because, see, I am not of the thinking that the media got us going at, trying to turn it into a racial issue. This ain't about race. This is about somebody that killed somebody else. And I don't care what color he is. If he killed somebody, he got to go. I don't give a damn if he do play football. And I ain't backing nobody just cause you black. If you done killed somebody, blue, black, green, yellow, your ass got to go. I'm telling you that right now. And the media done got all of black America in an uproar about it being a race issue. This ain't race. You understand me? O.J. ain't been black since he won that Heisman Trophy. So now, I ain't picketing for no damn body. I ain't getting out there carrying no sign. Kiss my ass, I tell you that right now. Oh, I might go down there and picket, but you ain't gonna like what's on my sign. Cause I'm gonna have fuck O.J. on both sides.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case, all bets are off. Just a word of advice. Folks, before we can begin handing out our awards tonight,
O.J., excuse me, O.J. said he was waiting for us outside earlier. Did you really have a cop out there? No. He had a cop outside waiting for us, and he had him in handcuffs. He was waiting outside for us.
He put me in handcuffs as you guys drove up. I mean, he put me in the back of the car, but he had to go and kept getting called.
You hired a cop to do this little...
Hey, come on.
We missed that one. Do you think he's lying? Hi, O.J.
Hello, and how are you?
Very nice to meet you.
This is Miles?
The little puppy there.
This is my puppy.
So you're going to take us through a day in your life?
Normally, I start off, in the morning, get my kids up, because it's just the three of us here, and my housekeeper comes a little later. And I get them together and, take them to school. Then I go to a place called, in a little area here called the Brentwood Mart, and I have my coffee and read the tabloids.
To see if you're in it.
No, I always know if I'm in it. He's always telling me, there's a guy who owns a little bookstore that I've been going to for 20 years, and we always tease about the tabloids. Unfortunately, my popularity is waning because
you'll have to do something else.
I'm very rarely in the tabloids these days. Once a week, but there's always one story, and I don't get any more covers. And at one point, I think I had the record for most covers in tabloids. I'm teasing. I don't want to be in the tabloids.
You take Prozac?
No, I don't take any of those type of.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
I don't take any mood on. My vitamin E, so I can be ready when that time comes when some girl says, "Hey, Juice, take me."
You better take that for a few more years.
So I take my vitamin E and my vitamin C. Actually, strangely enough, that line, that crack you just made, is if I wanted to, and this is not anything I'm bragging about, but the availability of women now is more than it's ever been in my life, which I find really strange. And I kind of equated it to that, I sort of understand that bad boy rocker mentality. I understand it, but these are gorgeous girls. I mean, you get the wackos. I mean, some of the pictures I get.
Do you want to walk to the car?
He's a good guy. Sure.
Okay, back there.
I think I got to put him back in the house.
Miles, back in the house. All right, where's O.J.? Where is that man? Look what I've lugged for you. Get over here! Come on, what am I, your slave? I just want to, at the end of the day, could I find out exactly you as the sports agent, what you do? By the end of the day, I want to crack this one, okay? Forget if he did it or not. I want to know what you do. I read about you. I looked at everything you did. The contrast to what you've got now, from people adoring you in the streets, which must have been a fabulous sensation. I mean, you were adored.
It is nothing, basically, when I travel, it is nothing like it is now. See, before I would get people, "Hey, Juice, what's happening?" And everybody, I would say maybe 1 out of every 10 or 11 people recognize me.
Yeah.
And even I was, at one point, like the third most recognized person in America, long before my trial. But still, half the people didn't know who the hell you were, the ladies were. Today, everybody recognized me.
Do you like
and
that?
Never.
Do you like it?
No, it's sort of uncomfortable. But the portion that I do like is, now, unlike before, I got women hugging me. Guys coming up saying, "Man, my family is supporting you." I mean, I never got anything like that. You may want to get a shot of
we're going to do this
the
later.
Rockingham thing where you can see they put the...
Are we going past Rockingham?
The next left turn is Rockingham, but you can't turn because what the city did, because of so much traffic and the tourists going by my house, they blocked off the street and they put some big cement things up. Okay, the next left you can make the left, okay?
So you don't see Rockingham and you weep for your
I drive by
past?
it every day. I drive by the street. See, they put those barriers up.
And your house was in there?
Yes, we'll go around.
Are there tourists coming by all the time?
Then it was. I don't know about now.
Right.
I'm sure there's still some. As I tell you, it was, I mean, even the city Chamber of Commerce said it was the must-see. Everybody who came to L.A. drove by Rockingham.
Do you think that's weird that you get famous as a murderer
well,
and you suddenly get this popular?
You know what I thought was weird is that I can understand a famous murder took place at Nicole's house. I can kind of understand that. The house that Bugsy Siegel was shot in through the window. I've even driven by that, right? But since nothing happened at my house, it was sort of amazing to me that, just go up, stay to your left. It was amazing to me that my house became such a
Yeah, but they think you're the murderer. You see the connection?
You're absolutely wrong. Every TV crew was ever at my house with the crew, with the people outside, all thought I was innocent. This right here is Rockingham starts here.
Oh, wow.
I had to see this green outer fence. I had to put, because people would walk up to the fence and look over the wall and be taking pictures, right? So we had this outer fence so they couldn't. I built everything here, virtually every tree you see except that elm right there over the swimming pool. I built them all.
And it doesn't bug you to see this and think I had that?
I think I did a real nice job.
You just look at it and you see the trees you planted?
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I got two
What's
dogs
with you
buried.
that always sees
I got
the
two
positive
dogs
side?
buried right there. That's people don't know it. I got two dogs buried there. So what are you gonna do?
Wait till they find the bones. You think you're in trouble now.
Yeah. Yes, and the dearest mommy house is 2 blocks
Oh,
up.
Joan Crawford. What'd you think of Joan?
I saw her in a movie called Gorg or something, right? And here this lady was, she must have been 60, right? And she's wearing these little short shorts, and the young guys were in love with her, and the head of the carnival was in love with her. I said, boy, this lady is not living in reality. I mean, her reality is like gone. Are we on Emerson? I said, asshole! Asshole!
Wasn't he the guy who was the...
He's the head DA of LA. He's the guy that went on TV telling that lie about the abuse and tried to become the governor through my trial.
The abuse? What abuse?
The so-called 8 abuse. He was the guy that was pushing that 8 abusive incidences.
Oh, that Nicole reported you.
Yeah, which was totally wrong. Right. You know, which nothing supports, and he would never say it today.
Well, why did he make it up?
I don't know. You know what happened? The police had come to our house in '89, and this guy was a total butthole, this police officer. And instead of doing, all of a sudden he was saying things like, oh, she should leave, just horrible things to me. And I said, man, what's your problem? You know, I thought you were supposed to be trying to diffuse the situation. And he said something. I said, why don't you go down to the station? All your officers been by here. They've been here 8 or 9 times. They all know me. They took that to 8 or 9 times for abuse. They came by they see me out front to talk sports. I give them a Coca-Cola. They want to see the Heisman Trophy. But all of a sudden, like everything in my trial, it became a negative, right?
So have you ever met this guy in the street?
I've seen him, not since the trial. I
Did you
used to
shout
see
at
him walk.
someone you see him?
If I saw him, I was going to stop, and I wish he's with his wife so I can tell him what we know about him. And I wish I would have seen him with his wife.
What do you know about him?
I don't want to get into that.
Come on, it's English TV.
No.
We don't know who the guy is.
No. This is just he's a typical guy. But the thing, if I could change any facet of my life, is I would have never been unfaithful to my wives.
But you were unfaithful.
I had some incidences. Yes, I did.
You were the victim of your own hormones.
Yeah.
In '84, didn't the police show up because you smashed the window of your car with a baseball bat? Did you smash the window with a baseball bat?
Yeah.
You were angry?
Yeah.
In what year are we now?
84.
When did you get married to her?
85.
Oh, right. So she wanted to get married, so this is where the
I wouldn't
baseball
set a
bat.
date, yeah. So I'm sitting on a car and I'm bouncing the bat off the hubcap, talking to her, and she says, if you tint that hubcap,
You married this woman that you have arguments with?
Oh,
like
this
that?
was not a big argument. It was
A baseball bat in a windshield is a big
argument. Are you going to
argument.
tell me that over the last 7 years you haven't had an argument with
I've never
whoever
smashed
he
a
is?
window. Ed, have I smashed a windshield with a baseball bat?
You don't have
We don't have a baseball bat in
Okay, you
England.
don't
We
have
have
a
cricket
baseball bat.
bats. I've never done it with a
As
cricket
I said,
bat.
I've never broke a glass. I've never thrown a glass. I've had 2 wives who've thrown glass. I've seen friends that come to the house and so did this and so on. I mean, come on, this is a long-term relationship. I hit the windshield with a bat, sitting on the car, hit it, window cracked.
How does a guy so positive, though, like you, I've never met anything this positive, think of sticking a gun in your mouth?
It was depression. It was not.
But sudden, it must have been sudden. You never had depression before in your life.
Yeah, it was sudden. I mean, first of all, they had me on drugs, which I didn't realize until later, when they put me on those drugs that week, that the first thing the drug does, it makes you more depressed before your body acclimates to it. So I think that was part of it. 2, I was still in shock. And 3, as I told you before, not only was Nicole dead, they're going to arrest me. That was humiliating. It's humiliating to think they're going to come and arrest me.
Yeah, I know. Did you go like this?
You never make up your mind. You just
take the gun and get in the car.
My thing was, I took the gun when I left my house. As the week went on, I got depressed, and I was in so much pain. I don't know if you've ever been in a lot of pain
I have
for
been
something.
in a lot of pain.
You just wanted to end it. You just want to stop it, and I couldn't sleep, and they were giving me sleeping pills, and it was just like, hey.
What were you thinking about?
I don't know. All the way down there, I was actually calm.
This is the scariest thing that could possibly happen as a great guy, this great athlete that just learned how to knock down everything in his path. Suddenly has a hit, a second where they lost control. Our biggest fear in life, the reason I can't get in an airplane, is our loss of control. You know what I'm saying? And you represent it. Maybe there's a blip in your mind where you didn't know what you were doing. Now,
I believe that can happen with almost anyone, but I just think that there is I honestly feel, unless there's some imminent danger to you or your family, if you have any type of faith or religious background, there is a point you won't cross. I honestly feel that. And I honestly feel that anybody is capable of murder.
People with religion have been the biggest killers in the history of the world.
Most murders
the
are...
Spanish Inquisition wasn't a golf party.
Right, well, most big wars are basically religiously based. But I do believe, I think there's a place that, I like to think anyway, there's a place that people don't cross.
You dream?
You know, I was in jail for 16 months. Most of my dreams were in a sexual nature. A little sexual overtones. It was horrible too, because they didn't change the sheets for like once a week or something. It was the worst.
You know, whether you did it or didn't do it, but if one of your kids was murdered, wouldn't you want everything you could get?
I would want the person in jail, that's for sure. Yeah. I would want to make their life.
If you couldn't have that, would you say I'll take the money?
Well, I may be a little different than some people.
What would you want?
I told you before, to me, there is a way, you know, everybody's capable of committing murder.
Everybody's capable.
If something happened in your family. Goldman, I felt a long time ago that with Goldman, he don't care at this point. If there was a chance tomorrow to catch the real murderers, he don't want to catch them, because then, you know, then all of a sudden his income is cut off. He ain't gonna be making any money. All of a sudden,
you really think he doesn't want to find the real murderer?
At this point, no.
You really believe that?
At this point, I think he is. He is satisfied with the way things are at this point. You see what I'm doing right now?
Yeah.
This is what I do daily.
Yeah.
I spend, as we say, 4 to 5 hours doing this, riding the sun on the trees, what my life is, basically.
Is that bad? I think it's great.
No, I like it. I'm in what they call forced retirement. Now, I must admit, it gets boring at times. At times, I get really bored.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you ever see the movie Groundhog's Day?
Yeah.
It's like from 5 o'clock on, it's like Groundhog's Day to me. From the time I leave the golf course and pick up my kids, because they have homework to do, I have nothing to do.
Where are you aiming
that yellow
for?
flag?
That's where you're aiming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm aiming to go over that hill somewhere. This is a new club. Are there like
helicopters over you wherever you go? Is this like a special bet?
It was for a while.
Whoa!
See?
Way off. OJ, how many hours a day do you play and you hit it into the trees?
I hope that guy didn't see that ball went over his head.
Is this a technical term in golf that sucked? Whoa!
See that yellow flag?
Yeah. Wow. That's a mean swing.
They call me Juice, the Juice.
Do you want me to tee off now?
Okay, so. Whoa. Woo! What?
Was that good?
You know, let me tell you, very few people can swing, make the tee go, and have the ball comes right down where it really was.
That's
that was
a talent.
That takes a talent to do that. It's like a magic trick. But that was a good swing. The feel of hitting the ball it's erotic, almost erotic. I mean, it is like it's a high.
Yeah.
I know, we used to always have guys always say that if you can go to bed with Christie Brinkley and Crawford or shoot par golf, what would you be? I've never heard a guy say not shoot par golf. You know, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Yeah.
What is it? When you hit it, do you know that you've got it?
Yeah, you can feel it, and it's like butter. As I said, I'm trying to hit it right to that tree.
Maybe you're better with balls than you are with women.
Well, I can't, you know. Well, see what I mean? How you shook me up with that? I can't say that because...
It never came out of the trees.
Yeah,
it just stayed in the tree. Do you meditate?
At one point, I felt I had reached the state of clear, right?
Which is what?
Which is in Scientology, I guess, is an area where you you're one with all, see all, know all. At least that's the way I interpreted it at the time.
You got to that state?
I thought I had, or I had from time to time reached that state, especially as an athlete. Sometimes you just feel that you're in total control of your surroundings and can literally will everything around you to happen.
Clear is just your...
Clear is, you can, as I saw it, is seeing it all, knowing it all, feeling that you're in total control of everything, but seeing it all, seeing the complete picture and feeling that you can control that picture. For me, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Feeling that I was one with everything, the pulse of everybody is being controlled by your pulse.
Wow.
By you, you know, and it's an interesting feeling to have.
It's very godlike.
Yeah.
I think because you have such control over your body, you have such control over your mind.
I think I am better control at this point over my mind than my body. Now the game is going to be right there, and I was just saying, if you're going to shoot, you guys may want to, you can stand anywhere in here, maybe up at this gate, once we're there.
Is that where your daughter is?
Yeah, pull up a little bit.
She's playing basketball?
Yeah, but the game hasn't started because I don't see the other team.
Oh, you mean they're playing out here?
Yeah. See?
Where's your daughter?
She's number 30.
And do the other kids ever ask her about, you know, what you...
No, nobody would do that.
They don't?
These kids, you'll see, they're all the girls wanted me to coach the team.
Did your daughter ever ask you about it?
No.
She never asked you about the murders?
Never at all.
She never mentioned it?
Never mentioned it once. Not even my son. Nope.
Never mentioned it?
Never once.
Don't you want to sit down and talk to them and say, listen, you may hear things about Daddy?
Not at all.
You never want to talk about it?
No.
I think you better.
No. Well, you know, I go to, I know you want to be a shrink, but I've gone through the best shrinks and child psychologists, and they don't advise that.
They said never mention it?
No. Let them bring it up.
Only in Beverly
Hills.
Hills.
About it,
yeah.
Well, possibly let the kids do it. Don't force feed them any of this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this, what school is this?
This is actually the church Nicole was buried in. I mean, her funeral thing was right here. Hey, is anybody gonna make a basket here for me? Okay, let's go.
But can somebody have one flash when they don't know what's going on? Can you?
Yeah. I think I could, you could. I'm sure with your personality you could.
I could? You mean if the light suddenly went out, I'd do something horrible?
You? Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Ask Ed.
And do you think that's like you being his agent and stuff? Do you hold that in your mind that that's a possibility?
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, it has been thought about.
Yeah. I mean, as an agent, did you ever ask him?
Yeah.
And?
Did I ever ask him if he did it?
Yeah.
Sure, I asked him.
And what happens? Does he hate it?
No, he looked at me like this. He said, I did not kill Nicole.
Right.
Stared into my eyes, and I never asked him again.
Yeah, because you knew not to ask him.
No, I didn't know not to ask him. I had asked him.
Something.
You know, it's like you go rent Primal Fear and you look at Primal Fear.
Oh, you mean the movie Primal Fear? Yeah.
And Richard Gere said that I believe in the goodness of man.
Yeah.
I believe that all crimes are not committed by bad people. And I believe that sometimes really good people do really bad things. And I try to judge O.J. by everything I've always known about him.
Right.
You know, what I've judged over 9 years, not judging him by one day.
Right.
But judging him over a lifetime.
Is Nicole the type that could have riled him up that much?
I don't know. You know, that's a tough question.
Because you think there's on all of us a moment where we snap?
Absolutely.
Where we're all capable of murder?
Yes.
You do. You said last night, you said, even some of the cops said whether you didn't do it or whether you did do it, you were still definitely framed.
Right, yeah. I mean, some of the sheriff's department and a couple of LAPD officers
said that.
Since then that said, and it's an argument that I've made since, and I agree with, that I don't care if you think I did it or if you think I didn't do it. You've got to admit I was framed. What happened is they were trying to get in my house. So Furman did the couple of little things he needed to do to get in my house.
But why get in your house? I really don't understand.
Well, you saw all the testimony. You got 5 police officers standing for a half hour outside of my wall with nothing to do.
Right.
They got bodies at the other crime. They're not at the other crime. They're standing outside of my wall trying to figure a way to get over my wall to see what I'm doing in my house.
And then when did he think of dropping a glove in the back of your house?
Because once they found out I was in Chicago,
they found out once they got in the house?
Then they should have left. Then they should have left. But they wanted to search the house.
Right.
And that's when he came and found a reason to search the house. The glove gave him a reason to search the house.
I wonder when Furman, I mean, if you were going through this in your mind, and I'm sure you've gone through it 1,000 times, thought of picking up the other glove, going into your house and dropping it. I mean, that's an unbelievable thing to do.
They needed a reason to get in my house. It happens all the time. It's just something that police do. They cover each other's ass. We saw the movie Serpico. It's happened time and time again.
Well, they have to discuss it. It's a complicated thing to carry a glove and a hat and a thing.
No, you don't have to discuss it.
Well, you don't do it by osmosis.
Yes, they do. You ever been around a police? I mean, it's like a football team. Things happen in a football team. We don't have to discuss. Everybody covers for everybody.
Who do you think did it then?
I've always said the answer's with Faye Rusnick. In the world of Faye Rusnick, her drugs, it's just too coincidental that she's had 2 friends in the past, one for sure, and then I don't know what happened with her sister, who were murdered mysteriously.
That never came out?
And no, never came out. Her and her husband ran. They ran out of the country. They left the country when these people died, and she came back a while later and got married and changed her name. That week, she gets kicked out of her house. She moves in with Nicole. We find out that for the first time in years or whatever, she's totally hooked on drugs that she's been doing for 2 months. She's totally broke. She moves in with Nicole. Nicole's dead 4 days later. Plus, an hour or 2 before Nicole's death, Nicole's on the phone crying. Now, it's a woman that never cried. Even when she called the police those 2 times, she wasn't crying. She may have sounded scared and all that. She wasn't crying. She's crying, talking to Faye on the phone. Why is she crying, talking to Faye?
Why?
And she's dead? I don't know. But whatever reason she was crying, talking to Faye on the phone is why, to me, is directly related to her
Can I
death.
ask you a question?
Yeah.
The other 2 murders that were related to Faye, do drug dealers do such brutal murders? Don't they just shoot them?
I think historically,
do they sever heads?
Historically, and once again, they brought this up in court, that I'm not necessarily a supporter of, but historically, what they do is cut your throat. They do the tongue tie thing. You know?
Drug dealers do that? It'd be so easy, you know, to just wrap it up.
Now, if we can catch them, that would wrap it up.
Why don't you get your hands on Faye and say, come on?
They have me in jail tomorrow.
I don't mean your hands. I mean just talk to her.
Oh, she won't. She's hiding. This is the infamous murders right there.
That's where Nicole lived?
That's where she lived.
Does
That's
that disturb you to see it?
You know, it doesn't. You know, I thought it would, and so I don't have a visual thing about it. In court, whenever they put pictures up of the bodies, I never looked at a picture. So I've never seen a picture of the bodies and in front of that. Even the video thing, my lawyers would say there, and I would kind of look off to the calendar and stuff. Well, I don't want that image. I don't want to have that, you know, to live the rest of my life with that picture of Nicole dead on a sidewalk, bleeding. I couldn't live with, didn't want to, and don't want to live with that picture.
Do you sometimes get a picture anyway?
No,
even...
no, I don't. Not at all. It was tough at times in court. Sometimes they hear them talking about it, and I think was some of the few times that I would try to emotionally and physically and mentally go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Go elsewhere. And sometimes it's tough to shut it out because at where you want to know, you know, where you want to know what happened or what they're surmising happened, at the same time you don't want to know it. You know, it's just not a picture. It's just not a picture you want to carry.
You know that the person stabbed her from the back.
I know that's what the guy said, yeah. And I would imagine that if anyone had their throat cut, normally it's from the back, at least from every movie I've ever seen.
Right.
I guess I saw one thing where the guy had some sort of a machete.
Well, you can go like this.
But well, from what I gathered, she died from a cut throat, not from a stab wound. So anyway, but I didn't. I never saw that picture. Didn't want to.
Right.
But the first time I had inadvertently, actually coming back from the restaurant, inadvertently was driving by, and because normally I go down that way, and was surprised that I had really no reaction. And I've even driven by with a film crew.
Really?
Since then, with a German.
And there's nothing.
Film crew, no reaction.
The Ivy Jack speaking?
Yeah, hi. I'd like to know, could I make a reservation for 2 for lunch?
What time do you want to come in?
About 2 o'clock. I'd like to know, do you have any problem if I brought in O.J. Simpson?
Yes, we do.
You do?
Yes, we do.
That's definite.
That's definite.
John, can I help? Could I just ask you something? Would you be adverse if I brought O.J. Simpson with me?
I think the owner has a problem with that.
Yeah.
The customers would be upset.
We've called a lot of places and they won't allow, seriously, I'm not causing trouble. They won't allow him in.
I'll tell you what, I've been to probably 30 or 40 restaurants with O.J. I've never had a restaurant refuse to serve us, ever.
Right.
Never.
Well, then they don't want to be associated by film.
Well, that's a different story.
Yeah. You said that you used to get him to sign autographs. How much could you sell an autograph for?
Now?
Yeah.
$35 to $50, depending on what it's on.
And was his worth more before this happened or after?
What it's worth now is the same that it was worth, say, 5 years ago.
Right.
But at the height of everything, the trial, we were selling autographs up to $250 a piece.
From prison?
From jail.
How many could you make like in an hour?
Oh, 400. We signed probably 20,000, 30,000 autographs in jail.
Hello, sweetheart. How you doing?
How are you?
Good, and you?
Oh my goodness, fine.
Oh, you? Very my pleasure.
They're thrilled. They're just thrilled.
I don't like those people there. You always get a wacko guy who's trying to incite something. No, you already shot it.
I've never personally shaken hands with a murderer. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Very nice meeting you.
Doesn't that hurt?
Huh?
Doesn't that hurt your feelings?
No.
Hi, what do you think of O.J. Simpson?
Guilty hell.
Think he's innocent? Yes. Okay. Excuse me, what do you think of O.J. Simpson?
I think he's a killer.
I think he knows who did it.
Okay.
And there's one more appearance he has to make, and that's the one upstairs.
Yeah, okay.
So I hope for his sake he didn't do it.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you.
The cops. Cops didn't want to be on TV, huh? The media, and they know that I have millions of supporters,
Yeah.
They will not let those supporters support me, but they'll let the Goldman supporters send money to prosecute me in a civil.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, the Goldmans lost somebody.
That makes sense in a criminal, in a civil action. That makes sense at all. I disagree with you totally.
Really?
If you are not taking sides, I lost someone too. People forget I lost my kids lost someone, and I lost someone also. I mean, the Goldmans didn't lose, as far as I'm concerned, anyone that they felt more love and support for than I felt for Nicole. I mean, I know I spent more time with Nicole certainly than Fred over the last 10 years of his son's life than he spent with his son. Yet this is a civil action is between two individuals. It's nothing criminal. If the media wants to report it, they should give both sides equal opportunity and equal access. But they didn't. They took a side.
They took a side.
They took a side.
But you lost that one.
Pardon me?
You lost that case.
Yeah. Eventually, I lost it. Yes. I mean,
I think you're deluding yourself that this is coming off of you because you're going on and on and on and on. There's something really affecting you.
Hey, look, you asked me a question about something.
Yeah.
And there's no superficial answer.
No.
Unless I talk about
but
it,
I can hear you're bugged. I can hear you're bugged.
Of course I am. I'm bugged to have to talk about it. Get my blood pressure going to have to. I don't think anybody could have gone through. I got I got totally screwed. I got screwed. I got things taken from me. I got me to an extent taken from me. My kids don't have a mother, and people want to ignore because of their, as far as I'm concerned, either ignorance, and in many cases, subconscious racism, won't look at the facts.
OJ, can't you say one thing? I don't care whether you're black, white, or green. I really don't care. The bottom line is you got off. You're innocent.
Thank you. Yeah, that is the bottom line, but that ain't the bottom line for so many people.
You're innocent. You got off. What kind of racism is that? You're free.
You know what? Let me say something.
You're walking around.
Let me say something.
What's your problem here?
Just
be free, be happy.
And once I get riled, sometimes, you really get pissed, and I start thinking about stuff, and thinking about this and this and this and this, and stuff that the media. You see what I'm doing now?
You're talking.
I swear, when I got out of jail, I was 24 hours. I wanted to know why. I'd watch every TV show and be arguing at that screen. Why won't they? Why didn't Larry King? That's not true. Why did Larry King not question him about that?
Why do you go on?
Because I'm talking to you. And you got me riled up. You got me started on this subject. So if you promise that you will not ask me another question about the case.
I will never ask you again.
We won't have to talk about it anymore.
Just did you do it?
No, I didn't. Nope. Did not do it.
After we finished filming, O.J. said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised. I think it was his idea of a joke, and this is it.
Cheers, O.J.
Cheers.
All right. I think that there are people offended now that you're here.
You know, I would think that the ones who are offended may be tuned into another channel. I don't know. It's just a guess on my part.
Yeah.
I would like to think that the majority of your listeners would not be offended.
I know you'd like to think that, Oj, but I'm not sure. At first, I just want to say it's interesting to have you here.
Thank you.
O.J., I was told not to ask you about the incident. Is there any reason why?
What incident?
The incident with Nicole.
Because there's nothing to talk about anymore.
Because you were proven innocent.
Because I was innocent. Yeah. I was proven innocent. And once we open that, we back into the...
Yeah.
It's, what, 7 years now? It's over and over and over. You know, I mean, they say life goes on.
So, when you travel and when you're walking down the street and things like that, what type of reaction do you get from people?
The exact reaction, maybe a little more emotional, that I got 15 years ago. If you took a walk with me down the street, you'd be amazed. I don't care where I go, white, black, wherever I go. Everybody's terrific.
No, I don't know. You're good with the white women. I see all black women.
I'm good with the sisters too, baby. If you didn't already have a kid and a man out there that's bigger than me.
Oh, please, O.J. I've got a hair weave.
Oh, your hair is bigger. See, he's in here. Forget what I just said.
I've got a hair weave. No, but you know what, O.J.? Not for nothing. Good black don't crack, and you certainly do look good.
He sure does.
Get more? Did I say that? I know. You want to catch yourself, right? I don't know, O.J. I don't know. O.J., I don't know.
I see you enjoy it. I see you enjoy the baby. I love the baby. Because I got truth on my side. Right wins. All right.
Okay.
The truly righteous are not the self-righteous. Just remember that. I read that in the Quran.
O.J., I want to say I don't like you. I can't stand you. I want to call you names. I want to throw you right out of here. But you know what?
Your husband's watching. You better watch this.
You've done it to me. Can I invite you to a party?
Yeah, sure. I'll be there.
O.J., damn you. I like you.
Thank you.
Damn you. Damn you. Damn you. No! Oh my gosh, he hugged me! Damn you, O.J. Damn you, O.J. Simpson, you're charming.
Well, thank you.
This is what these street songs. Now, Kim, you know this is old drum.
Yeah.
So you know we get a little crazy. So I'm going to ask you something now. How's your love life? Because you get nosy, see.
And you know what, just to say that, because you said you live in Miami now, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, are you getting into that salsa flavor and going to the salsa clubs and all that kind of
Well,
stuff?
I've had some salsa flavor.
Okay.
I gotta go. I'm with you.
You know, actually, I'm not dating anybody right now. Okay. But and it's tough for me because they got to pass my daughter's test, and my daughter's tough.
Okay.
Right? She's ran a few out of my life.
I got a second part to that question, because a lot of people, a lot of women, this is a question that a lot of black women want me to ask you, so I'm going to ask it. They want to know, are you ever going to date sisters again?
I tell you. I'll tell you an interesting thing. In the last 5 years, I've gone out with 2 sisters and 1 Hispanic girl.
Okay.
Nobody ever writes about that. I mean, I remember being at Hana Sushi here with a girl that I won't name, that you would know if I named her.
Oh, tell me. When they say cousins, write it down. No, O.J., you ain't going to say that. You can tell us.
Two writers, one for the New York Post, who's always in my business. I even stood them a drink, and I expected to see it in the media. I didn't see anything. But if I'm in a room with a white blonde, all of a sudden they're a Nicole lookalike. And I'm dating them, and I'm getting married, which is just
And you're getting married. No, I ain't ever get married.
Right. Because they have printed for one drink.
You know, they have, and this is your chance to clear it up with all the sisters in the country because they have printed lots of different publications that usually don't have anything to do with black women.
Oh, that's absolutely right. You should know that because at the golf tournament in Bahamas, I was after one sister, and she wouldn't give me the time of day. I was working it too.
Okay.
I was working it
Well, wait a minute. Didn't y'all do a little scene together, a little kissy scene one time?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
First and 10.
First and 10.
Like, my tongue is still sore.
You just blew it, O.J. Do you remember what you said to me after that love scene?
No, I do not recall.
Now, do you remember what you said to me?
I've tried to
Well,
recall.
I've never forgotten it. After we partied for medicine, you brought this on yourself. I won't go bring it up. But after we partied, he looked at me, he said, makes me want to go back.
All-star turned himself in at a Miami jail today after being charged in connection with a road rage incident. James Patterson says Simpson ran a stop sign and cut him off last December. The 55-year-old man honked at Simpson, who apparently got out of his vehicle, started arguing with him, and then Simpson reached into Patterson's car and ripped off his glasses, scratching the man's face. Simpson was released on $9,000 bail. If convicted, he could face up to 15 years in prison.
It's the forgotten trial of O.J. Simpson.
Hey, guy, listen. If I cut you off, I'm sorry, but stop following me.
The year was 2001. Simpson was arrested following a road rage incident in Miami. Cops say he ran a stop sign with his two youngest children in the back seat, then assaulted motorist Jeffrey Pattinson and scratched his face.
Do you consider that to be a violent act?
Yes.
Facing up to 16 years in prison, he took the stand and proceeded to charm the jury.
I said, I cut you off? What do you mean? It was like no traffic on the street. So it's like hard for me to think that I cut a guy off. There's no traffic to cut a guy off.
Outside court, he posed for photos with fans.
God bless you.
The defendant is not guilty.
The verdict, not guilty, once again. We spoke with trial judge Dennis Murphy, now retired.
We had, I wouldn't say a parade, but there was a number of corrections officers and other court personnel that came through the courthouse looking for autographs, bringing footballs to get signed.
Simpson's surface charm hid a sinister, violent streak. You can hear the terror in the voice of his wife, Nicole, in her desperate 911 calls.
He's back. Please, he's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. What's your name? Nicole Simpson. Okay, just stay on the line. I don't want to stay on the line. It's going to be in a minute.
Gloria Allred represented Nicole Brown Simpson's family. She says the failure to properly punish Simpson for domestic violence led to the murders.
There was no real consequence for harming her. So then he took her to the next level and he killed her. No surprise.
His 1995 trial for the murder of Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman was filled with intrigue and twist and mesmerized America. Its iconic moments still resonate.
How about that, Mr. Fung?
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
I covered the trial gavel to gavel, a front row seat to history. With Simpson's passing, I've been asked to relive many memories across the airwaves.
Jim, good morning. I remember watching you. We remember seeing you.
Jim Murray, you also covered this trial.
The trial had celebrity, betrayal, sex, race, and murder. It exposed the raw nerves and deep divisions in America. I had an unusual connection to this case. I saw O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown Simpson the very day of the murders because our daughters were in the same dance class. And I was at the recital where O.J. and Nicole were seen in public together for the last time. KCAL TV news anchor Pat Harvey was also at the courthouse each day. What do you think O.J. Simpson's legacy will be?
Sad to say, his legacy will be that many people believe that he murdered his ex-wife and Ron Goldman. He tried to live his life as O.J. Simpson, but just in the memories and the minds of other people, it will always be that fateful day back in 1994.
Simpson's action case were that of a madman.
Mr. Simpson said to him at that point, "So I blew the stop sign. What are you going to do? Kill me? You're going to kill me and my kids?" Mr. Pattinson was incredulous. Right up to Mr. Pattinson's door. Mr. Pattinson is still in the vehicle.
You swear or affirm evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, have a seat, sir. There's a microphone there, so make sure you speak into the microphone so we can all hear you.
And the fact that he appeared to be shouting.
When he took them from my face because the arm was loose, he was taking the left arm off. Because the arm was loose, the glasses folded in on his hands like that, and so he was holding the glasses like this in his hand.
And you claim Mr. Simpson got out of his car, and you still don't call the police.
That's correct.
Okay. This is an individual who is looking for a confrontation.
Objection.
The evidence will show that this. The evidence will show that this is a person who is angry. The evidence will show that this is a person who is upset.
I overheard conversations about the case, yes.
What types of conversations?
Just what we heard so far. They were just reviewing what they heard.
We have just what the witness would say, just touch base on that. Anything else, we didn't. We didn't come to a verdict or anything like that. We're just like refreshing our memories, that's it.
Obviously, nobody wants a mistrial. Nobody wants to have all of the work we've done for the last 2 or 2.5 weeks go down the toilet.
Call your first witness.
We'll call O.J. Simpson to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and the truth? I do. All right. Have a seat. Make sure you speak on the microphone so we can all hear you, sir.
So I said, look, man, finally, I said, look, man, if I cut you off, I apologize. But what are you doing? You can't do this. You know, I got a couple of kids in this car. You can cause an accident and get someone killed.
Okay.
At that, he blew up. At that, he just puffed up like a bullfrog and got animated and just went off.
Deliberations. To start any of that process beforehand, you're not fulfilling the oaths that you all took at the beginning of this case as jurors. You're essentially not doing your jobs.
The first impression is that he was very, very angry.
And what gave you the impression that he was very, very angry?
The look on his face, his demeanor as he turned his stride towards my car, and the fact that he appeared to be shouting.
And he was very animated, and I kind of just went, hey, guy, listen. If I cut you off, I'm sorry, but stop friggin' following me.
We're on your person.
Yes.
Staying.
Okay. Have police ever contacted you?
Relevance.
Let me hear it.
I just felt that this was a guy, as I told my kids when I got back in the car, this was a guy that needed some decaf coffee.
Have we ever met before, sir?
No.
I didn't get to take your statement, did I?
Remain silent. I could yell too, and I could say it's not close, but the fact is it's not a comment on silence. If they want to make another objection, we'll deal with it, but the objection they made should be overruled, because it simply is not a comment on silence.
Judge, not only should it not be overruled, you should immediately grant a mistrial because it's right not to give a statement to the state attorney's office. And for her to get up here and say, you didn't give me a statement is a comment on that fundamental, absolute right.
And you went through the stop sign. Come on. Which is it? Was he right on top of you so that he could have seen your face? Or was he far enough back that he couldn't have seen your face?
Don't answer that. Objection argumentative.
Staying. I'm convinced that from the record, there was no prejudice to the defendant. I'm denying the mistrial. If you would like me to caution them again.
Well, obviously, I think the court's instructions to these jurors needs to be much sterner than it has been.
Thing did you say?
I said who, and he told me it was Mr. Simpson.
Okay. Now, when you turned around and looked at him, could you describe for the jury what his demeanor was?
He seemed calm, but a little shaken up. I think he was in shock.
Okay.
He just couldn't believe that had happened.
Did you?
Do you swear or affirm evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and the truth?
I do.
How you feeling this morning?
When you go back into that jury room, you must have an abiding conviction of guilt. This is a man who wants to play cop as opposed to being a cop. He wants to play cop instead of calling a cop.
I submit to you that the story you heard on the stand was brand new. Because Mr. Simpson is trapping him in his vehicle, just by his very body being there.
His story is incredulous. I mean, they're having this violent act over these glasses, according to Pattinson, and he does nothing to defend himself. He just keeps his hands down and doesn't move.
Clerk, reach up here, reads the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in and for Dade County, Florida. State of Florida versus Orenthal J. Simpson, case number 014445. Verdict, we the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 24th day of October 2001. As to count 1 of the charge, the defendant is not guilty. As to count 2 of the charge, the defendant is not guilty. So say we all sign foreperson Joe Hebner.
Call the jury, please, Alberto.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you heard me read the verdict. If this is your verdict, please say yes.
You may decline to be interviewed. Answer no comment to individual questions that may be asked of you.
I mean, this case was argued like it was a death penalty case, and it wasn't even close to that.
Well, you know, everybody Monday morning quarterbacks, but the fact of the matter is, this is the type of case that is filed every single day. Most people admit their anger.
What do you think, Choose? What can you tell us?
No comment. Anything? Aren't you happy?